You know why I'm here.
And we are live. We're filming this on Tuesday, 10-6, in the middle of the third quarter, not the end of the third quarter of the Laker game, Game 4, which leads me directly into the NBA. Ooh, this is a good game. But Doc Rivers gets fired on Monday, has a new job on Thursday. Doc Rivers is going to Philadelphia to be the new head coach of the Sixers. I think it's a great fit. I think Doc Rivers is a defensive-minded coach. Embiid is a great center. I think that pair will do well. And the only question I have is Ben Simmons and Embiid has not been able to work. Granted, I think Brett Brown should have got fired a long time ago. I don't think Ben Simmons is going to work with Embiid. I think Ben Simmons is now traded out of Philly in the offseason. And Embiid probably puts up MVP-type numbers next year running the show completely out of Philly. The Lakers were dominant in games 1 and 2. I think Shannon Sharp said it best this morning. And yesterday he said that with Bam Adebayo on the court, it plays more into the Lakers' strengths. And I think it does. I think that means that both teams are more paint focused. And I think that means that LeBron and AD are going to get a lot more free throws. They're going to get a lot more good looks at the basket. I think they're going to block a lot more shots. I think they're going to get a lot more rebounds. With Bam out, Jimmy ran the show. Jimmy had a 40-point triple-double, one of the best finals games of all time, undisputedly.
Okay.
He killed it. I saw a lot of memes on Instagram earlier where it was Michael Jordan sitting from the Last Dance documentary. He was like, and then I took that personally, and it was Jimmy when LeBron started talking shit. And, I'm always down for a great series. I do still stand by my statement, Lakers in 5. I do think
That's
the Lakers
according to
win
the
this game
Bible.
and then win the next game on Thursday. But the series is the series is interesting. The series is fun. A lot of people expected Lakers in 4. I wasn't one of them, as Jimmy airballs at the end of the third. 75-70 Lakers at the end of 3. LeBron's yelling at a referee again. LeBron's averaging a near triple-double, as I predicted. He's going to do what he does. LeBron's one of the best players ever, if not the best player ever. He's the best player in the world right now. Has been for a long time. The Heat are going to lose this series, but they will be back. Within the next 3 to 5 years, they will be champions.
You're going to learn today.
Tyler Hero, nobody to be messed with. He's a walking bucket. Bam Adebayo is, like I said, Dennis Rodman, Tim Duncan, hybrid. That's going to be your guy for the next 15 years. Bam Adebayo will be Miami's staple. He will win an MVP probably. He'll probably be a 10-time All-Star. He'll do some crazy things. He'll be a Hall of Famer. I love me some Bam. I'm from Miami. I have all the love in the world for the Miami Heat, but LeBron made me pick up a basketball, so I got to go with the Lakers, but I'm really glad that the Heat got themselves a squad. I'm glad that the Heat got themselves some great young players that are just going to be there for the next 10 to 15 and win them some championships down the road. I think AD will start to bounce back. He had a terrible Game 3. I think he's going to start rolling. He's already starting to roll a little bit here. I think next game he picks it up even more. Other than that, no NBA news. Yeah, still Lakers in 5. Like, everybody just breathe. I need to breathe because this game's making me nervous. But let's get to some NFL action. I love that. Nothing makes me happier than that sound on a Sunday. So we're going to start with Trash Can Cisco. The 49ers lose to Philly. Philly is Philly's my consensus worst team in the league. Woo. That's why we keep this one in the hand. Philly's my consensus worst team in the league. I think with all of their injuries and them just not knowing how to build talent, I think they're the worst team in the league. Carson Wentz, I don't even want to talk about Carson. Carson Wentz is making me upset because Carson Wentz is supposed to be great, but he's not. I think it's more of a work ethic problem. I think he was overconfident and then tore his ACL and then didn't want to work to get back to that level. I think he thought that it was going to be easy, and I think it's a work problem. And if it is a work problem, then Philly has a problem. And they either need to move on or hire a coach that's going to bring it out of him. Because if Carson Wentz keeps doing what he's doing, then Philly's I hate to say not going to win another. I hate not going to win another Super Bowl, but that Super Bowl is not won by Carson Wentz. It was won by Nick Foles and the coaching staff and the defense. Carson Wentz is probably not the answer that Philly needs. I don't care what anybody says about Kansas City's performance versus New England. I still think Kansas City's the best team in the NFL.
Okay.
That defense is no joke. That pass rush will get there. That run defense is slowly but surely building every week. Still have the reigning defending Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, so you're going to be set there at position-wise. Got some of the fastest people I've ever seen in my life on the outside. One of the best play callers ever in Andy Reid. You're not going to get a better team right now than the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody else is playing catch-up. Everybody else needs work. This game showed me that the Patriots will be interesting. I hate I don't remember who said it, but somebody said, "Congratulations to Kansas City. You just beat New England's JV team." And that's BS because Kansas City put up 26 points against the best defense, the most disciplined defense in the league in New England. So I think that 26 isn't a lot, but 26 on that defense is a lot. And granted, there was the pick six, so I guess it was 19 on the defense, but points are points. I don't care how they're scored. It still counts in fantasy, so it counts in my head. I think the Patriots with Cam Newton are dangerous, more dangerous than without, obviously, because Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer are trash. They're not going to do anything significant. They need Cam Newton, but the Patriots will be interesting in the postseason. They will make the postseason, and Jimmy's running in transition. Are the Packers the best team in the NFC? I'm not sure. I think that Seattle has found a stud in – oh, my God, I'm slipping to his name. But they picked up a safety, and if you just take all of the safety statistics that you could possibly take, I think Pro Football Focus has him ranked 5th. I got to look up this guy's name. I want to give him his respect. But, yeah, I think the Packers might actually be the best total team in the NFC. I think Aaron Rodgers is having himself a season. Nowhere near the type of season that Russell Wilson's having. Let me get that out of the way first and foremost. You know what? That's written later in the notes. So we'll keep that. So Russ is gonna Russ.
That's
Russ for MVP. You're gonna hear it every week, no matter what. Russ is gonna Russ. The Dolphins are 1-3. Yes, they're not a very good team, but that defense has heart. That defense has studs. I love my Miami Dolphins defense, and I was watching that game, and it looked like I was watching a magician.
You're gonna learn today.
Russell Wilson had the ball on a tightrope off of his fingers. I was watching him make throws that I didn't even know anybody could make. He was fitting it into 3-4 defenders on his way to I was watching magic, and nobody's playing better football than Russell Wilson right now. Nobody's playing better football than Russell Wilson right now. But yes, the Packers, they might be the best team in the NFC, and that's good because I feel like Aaron Rodgers deserves a lot more credit than what he's given over the past couple seasons. I think everybody's saying he's regressed, but I don't think he is at all. I think Aaron Rodgers is still a top 5 quarterback, has been for 10 years. It's not going to change.
Okay.
His name's Ryan Neal, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it's Ryan Neal. If it is Ryan Neal, congratulations, Ryan Neal. You're a stud. You're going to be a Seahawk for probably your entire career, and you're going to be awesome. Awesome. That's cool. I'm glad for Ryan Neal. Ron Rivera wants to bench Dwayne Haskins. You know, you draft Dwayne in the first round, and hopefully he gives you some good stuff, some good tape, and, you know, you can kind of do your own thing. But Ron Rivera does not like Dwayne. Doesn't like the way he's playing. That offense is just not clicking. Ron Rivera, I don't think likes him very much as a leader. Like Ron Rivera went from Cam Newton, this vocal and like really good leader, to Dwayne Haskins, who is asking his O-lineman his rookie year, "What can I do to help you?" I think this kid's confidence is more arrogance. And wow, Tyler Hero hits a big 3 over LeBron to cut it to 1 with 10 minutes left in the fourth. But I think his confidence is more arrogance, and I think Dwayne Haskins needs to get his together before Ron Rivera, who is not – he doesn't take any bull crap. He will bench Dwayne Haskins no matter what the general manager wants him to do, if that's the right decision for the team. Adam Gase needs to be fired. I'm going to have a firing section. I'm going to have a firing squad later, and Adam Gase will be on it. But Adam Gase needs to be fired. Sam Darnold needs to leave New York. Sam Darnold is an actually talented quarterback. He knows how to make plays. He's good with the ball. He's in a terrible situation with a terrible franchise that does not want to put any good players around him. I think that Sam Darnold needs to leave New York. I think Sam Darnold to Indianapolis, maybe following Phillip Rivers. I think that would be nice. I think that would be great if Sam Darnold chooses to leave New York in a couple years.
Okay.
Speaking of the Colts, they beat the Bears in battle of top 5 defenses. What everybody seems to forget is that the Colts have always been a great defensive team. I think the Colts, no matter who's in their roster, right now they have a great roster, but no matter who's on their roster is always going to be able to play good defense. And Phillip Rivers is no slouch. He's older, but he's still Phillip Rivers. One of the best trash talkers in the league. If you haven't heard him trash talk, please go look up Phillip Rivers mic'd up. He's just a country boy who loves playing football. Tampa Bay is catching fire. I think Tom Brady's really catching fire. He threw another pick six, and then he threw 5 touchdowns. So I don't know what's more to talk about. Do we talk more about the fact that he has 4 pick sixes in his last 6 games? Or do we talk about that he bounced back and threw 5 touchdowns?
Because I spit hot fire.
I think with Tom Brady at his old age, learning this new system, this is kind of like the stuff you're going to get. You're going to get these moments of, I'm still the GOAT, I'm still the best player in the world. And then you're going to get these moments of, I look like I don't know what I'm doing because I kind of don't know what I'm doing.
I know him, but I don't know.
It's going to be like that all 17 weeks, or all 16 weeks that they play. And it'll matter in the postseason. I think next year they do a lot better. But for right now, they are catching fire. Bill O'Brien is fired. Confirmed. Bill O'Brien, head coach and general manager of the Houston Texans, is out. Congratulations, Deshaun Watson. Everything will be okay. Your career is saved. No more having bad play calls. No more having a terrible offensive line because your general manager traded all your picks and traded all your good players. No more not having weapons because they decide that they don't want to pay DeAndre Hopkins, even though DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver in football. Deshaun Watson, you are free, my friend. You're still a Texan, which is good because I feel like the Texans are a good organization within. I think the Texans have a good team. I think LeBron hits a nice fade away to put him up 6. Heat timeout. Yeah, I think Bill O'Brien was the problem, and now that Bill O'Brien's out of there,
We will not
like I
have
said
it.
last week, I know they're 0-4, but I'm not giving up on the Texans. I think they can go 9-7. Need to turn it around fast, but I think they can go 9-7 and squeak in. I think they can. The Saints still suck. I don't really care who they beat. They're not very good to me. They barely beat Detroit. Detroit was up on them big, and then Detroited. I love saying that about teams. But it's just that's the story of Detroit and Atlanta. They just blow leads. That's all they do. They come out hot, they go up big, and then they blow it. They don't know how to close games. They don't know how to make plays late to not lose. Like, they just play not to lose, and you can't play not to lose. You have to play to win, and that's what these teams are not understanding. That's why New Orleans will make the playoffs because that's a bad division. Atlanta is going to fire Dan Quinn and not win a playoff game for 5 years probably. New Orleans is going to make the playoffs but not do anything. I said it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to keep saying it. Because New Orleans isn't good. New Orleans barely beat Detroit. I'm not sold on Drew Brees anymore. I'm not sold on New Orleans. Who Dat Nation, sit down because the Saints still suck. Those were my notes for the week on New Orleans. Saints still suck. Triple S, baby. Cleveland dominated. We're going to get into my record on the Flavorful 5, but Cleveland dominated. They allowed a lot of points, but that's because when your offense is scoring at will, your defense is going to get tired late in game, which is exactly what Dallas does. Dallas lets teams go up big and then stat pads and makes it look close, but really Cleveland dominated. Dallas was up in the first, and then Cleveland completely took over the game. Went up, I think, 31-14. I think when your defense is that bad and your offense can't put up points consistently, that you're going to lose games, which is exactly what the Cowboys are doing. But I'm not going to shit on the Cowboys today. I'm not going to do it. My aunt just gave birth to my little cousin Olivia, and my aunt is a huge Cowboys fan, so I'm not going to shit on the Cowboys this week. But we all know how I feel. Sorry, Titi. Joe B gets it done versus Jacksonville. I called it again. Joe Burrow gets his first NFL win. He actually tweeted something like "feels good to win" after, because it was his first NFL win. He always talks about how he was a winner throughout high school. He was a winner throughout college. He knows how to win big games. He knows how to win. And the fact that he's on a terrible team in Cincinnati, of course they drafted him number 1. What do you expect? You're going to the worst team in the league. But you're on a terrible team, plagued by injuries last year, plagued by injuries kind of in training camp, and you got your first dub. They're probably going to ride this and get 5 or 6 this year. I really do believe that Joe B was exactly what they needed. I think anybody who got the first pick was going to draft Joe Burrow no matter what their quarterback situation was, and they were going to rock with Joe Burrow because that's how good this kid is. That's how good this kid will be, and I can't get enough of him. I love him. Minshew needs to perfection in order for Jacksonville to win. So I've noticed that Jacksonville only wins, or it only looks close, if Gardner Minshew has a damn near flawless performance. And that's asking a lot of a second-year player. Second or third-year player? Of a second-year player. He's a quarterback who wasn't supposed to be in his spot. The only reason he got his spot is because Nick Foles got hurt in training camp, and then he showed up with his mustache, made the town go crazy, won a couple games, looked good while doing it, won out the starting job outright, and now you're working with less, and you need to be perfect in order for your team to win. I think Jacksonville's still rebuilding, for sure, but they do have themselves a stud because Gardner Minshew does not make many mistakes, and when he does, I feel like he's the hardest working guy on the team. I feel like he's the first one in the gym. He's always reviewing film, and Jacksonville will get there one day with Minshew.
Okay.
It's just not happening. It's just not going to happen. The Cards are struggling. Cardinals are struggling a little bit. I think Kyler Murray is kind of doing this a little bit. He's kind of going up and down. I think him and Cliff Kingsbury still need to get a feel for that offense. DeAndre Hopkins is still going off, but that defense needs to be a little bit better, and the offense needs to be a little bit more consistent, especially around the offensive line. But the Cardinals will figure it out, but they are struggling. Rams get an ugly W versus probably the NFL's worst roster, head to toe at least, in the New York Football Giants. I think the Giants probably have the NFL's worst roster, and the Rams barely got the W. They got the interception late, but that Giants defense held one of the most explosive offensive attacks, at least air-wise, in the league, and they were able to hold them. So I have utter confidence in the Giants next week. I forget who they play.
I didn't mean to offend you.
And the Bills are still undefeated. That sucks because I really wanted the Raiders to beat them. I'm a Dolphins fan, so the Bills being undefeated sucks. Josh Allen's going off. Josh Allen is putting up MVP numbers, but you're playing in a league with Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, so you're not going to get it in your third year. But Josh Allen is a stud, and I really feel like Buffalo will be contenders in the near future. Dan Quinn, Adam Gase, Matt Patricia, you're all fired at the end of the season, if not before that. That is that. That is my fired bubble. If I had to take a guess as to who's getting fired last, it's Adam Gase because the Jets already came out and said that they're going to continue to be a dumpster fire organization and wait until the end of the season to fire Adam Gase. True men. Who do I think is out after that? Probably Dan Quinn because the Falcons suck and they're the laughingstock of the league. So I think Dan Quinn's out of there just out of pure pride. And I think Matt Patricia is out of there at the end of the season. Rightfully so. I think you should get 3 seasons as a head coach. Unless you're absolutely terrible like Adam Gase, then you should not get 3 seasons. But there's that. On to the UFC. Holly Holm was dominant versus Irina. I completely had it wrong. Holly Holm was dominant. She had 5 takedowns. That was a career high in a fight. She was able to shut her down on the feet, still showed that world championship boxing, kickboxing pedigree. Sorry. But, yeah, I think Holly Holm tried to prove that she was back. I'm still not a believer. I'm still not on the hype train. I do not believe that she's going to resurge her career as a lot of people were predicting after the W. I think she still needs to show that she can do that consistently before I'm on board for a resurgence and a title shot. Carlos Felipe got a unanimous decision over Yorgan De Castro. If you remember correctly, I said last week, if you're going to watch one fight Make it the Jorgen De Castro fight because it's going to last you 15 seconds of your day. You're going to move on. Have a good day. Have a good day because Jorgen wins by a KO in 15 seconds. Jorgen lost in 15 minutes of action. I'm pretty disappointed. I thought Jorgen was going to show that he was a contender. And also, honestly, the complete opposite happened. And Carlos Felipe, sorry, sir, I'm going to start saying your full name because I didn't last week. Carlos Felipe got the UD in a battle of prospects. I think both men are still on the up and up. But for now, Jorgen didn't show me what I wanted to see. And that's cool.
Bruh.
Jermaine Durandamy subbed Juliana Pena, the kickboxing champion, the woman who stepped into the ring with a man in kickboxing and who knocked that man out in kickboxing. True fact. Fact check me. Submitted the girl with the wrestling pedigree. That's whoever put money for GDR to win by submission probably won a butt ton of money because I didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jermaine Durandamy. You make me put my foot in my mouth. I apologize. I'm never going to doubt you again. Proved me wrong. I guess you only lose to GOATs. Shout out Amanda Nunes. I do believe Aldana will be back strong. I do think that she's going to take this as a learning experience. She lost to a much more seasoned vet. She lost to somebody who is a world champion in 3 sports, and I don't think she has anything to be ashamed of. She displayed a lot of heart, and I feel like she'll be back soon. She'll be back strong, and she'll get on a winning path relatively quickly. Carlos Condit was dominant in a UD, dropped him beautifully, I think with a right straight, and then after that it was all Carlos Condit for the rest of the fight as Duncan Robinson banks in a 3 to put the Heat down 2. So Lakers up 2 right now. This is a great game. Duncan Robinson, 17 points, 3 for 5 3-point shooting. Great game, great game. Yeah, Aldana will be back strong. And that's the wrap-up for the UFC. On to the Flavorful 5. Flavorful 5 is where I give 5 semi-hot takes on stuff that's going to happen in the week of sports. Last week, I went 3-2. The Bills beat the Raiders, so I was wrong. And Holly Holm beat Aldana, so I was wrong. But Denver's backups beat the Jets in a pretty good game. Cleveland dominated Dallas, and Joe B shined. So I'm going to take the dub on the Flavor 5 last week. Flavor 5 this week, I'm calling it right now that my Miami Dolphins will walk into San Francisco and upset your trash can Cisco 49ers. Sorry, Mark. The 49ers, without Jimmy Garoppolo and without a running attack, aren't a good team. The defense is injured. Your best player, Nick Bosa, is gone. The Dolphins should have beat Seattle. They played great at the end of that game. Terrible in the beginning. I think they're going to come out hot like they did against Jacksonville, and they're going to upset the 49ers. That one's going to hurt when it probably doesn't happen because every time I bet on the Dolphins, they lose. But true Miami fans know that next year is always our year. The Giants will beat the Cowboys in Dallas. I'm calling it now. Your New York Football Giants will walk into Dallas, look the most high-powered offense in the face, shut them down, score like probably 15 points on some field goals, and find a way to win this game. Because the Cowboys suck.
You're going to learn today.
Corey Sanhagen subs Marlon Moraes in round 1 in the main event of UFC Fight Night, Moraes versus Sanhagen. We'll talk about that later, but I'm calling it now. Corey Sanhagen looking to bounce back from that loss to Aljamain Sterling. I think Aljamain Sterling is the best 135er in the world. I think he will fight Peter Yan and prove that. So you got choked out easy peasy by the best 135er in the world, in my opinion. I think you're going to bounce back stronger than ever. Moraes does not have a gas tank. I feel like he'll gas and Jay Crowder with the hard foul on LeBron. No scuffle because this isn't the 90s. And then, I think he comes back with a big win, subs Moraes in round 1. I think Justin Herbert gets his first W versus Who Dat Nation in New Orleans. Herbert's played great through 3 games, through 3 starts, but hasn't got his first dub. He played Kansas City, Carolina, and New England. Those are three teams, or I'm sorry, not New England, because he played Tom Brady. I'm thinking he played New England. He played Tampa Bay, and he lost three. Those are not 3 games that you lose that you're sad about. They were hanging in all 3 games. Probably should have beat the Buccaneers, but like I said, Brady threw for 5. Last but not least, I think the Marlins will make the NLCS. I know they lost today versus the Braves, but I'm predicting that the Marlins make this an upset and upset the Braves. I think the Braves are one of the best teams in the league, but I don't know. Something in my gut is telling me Miami will make the NLCS.
Okay.
Upcoming NFL Week 5. Let's just start rattling them off. I got Tampa Bay over Chicago. I think Chicago loses back-to-back games because I think Tom Brady's starting to find his rhythm. I got KC over Las Vegas, LA over Washington, Buffalo over Tennessee, because I don't know who has coronavirus on Tennessee, so I can't confidently say that I know what that team's going to look like coming off of a bye. So I'm going to go with Buffalo, the team that I've been looking at for 4 weeks. I'm going to go Pittsburgh over Philly because Philly's the worst team in the league. Arizona over New York because New York's the second worst team in the league. I'm going Jacksonville over Houston. I know this kind of doesn't make sense because I'm predicting Houston's going to make the playoffs. But I don't know. I think Minshew just finds a way to win this one. I think with first week with a new head coach coming off a lot of drama, I think Houston takes this week to kind of figure it out versus a lackluster Jacksonville team. Probably a low-scoring game. Jacksonville doesn't have to win the game. I'm taking Baltimore over Cincinnati, but it was hard to highlight Baltimore because I really do believe in Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. I really do believe that they can win games, and I do believe this is a winnable game. If Cincinnati wins this game, I'm not going to be surprised. But Lamar Jackson reigning MVP. Baltimore's defense is still good. I'm going Baltimore. Carolina will beat Atlanta because Atlanta sucks. New England will beat Denver because Denver's plagued by injuries. Like I said, the New York Football Giants will walk into Dallas and prove why Dak is not worth $40 million or anywhere near $40 million or anywhere near $30 million. You're probably looking at $25 million to be a starting quarterback, Dak. You're not that good. Sorry, bud. I got Cleveland over Indianapolis. I think Cleveland starting to figure it out on offense. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They're being real creative. I think Baker's starting to figure it out. Lakers up 5, 4:35 left in the fourth. Seattle over Minnesota. Minnesota was supposed to be good this year, as they are every year almost. Kirk Cousins is flopping, and I think Seattle's going to take advantage because Seattle has the best player in the world. Like I said, Miami over 49ers. I'm calling it now. It's going to be the upset of the year for my Dolphins. They always have one where they upset. I think this is going to be the one. And for Monday Night Football, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, the team with no fans, versus the team with the most annoying fans in New Orleans, Who Dat Nation. I think Herbert shines. Breeze stinks. The Chargers defense dominates. And the Chargers win this game 30-28 for a total of 58 points. I think the Saints are probably going to miss a last-second field goal. My top 10 NFL teams, so I'm adding this to the week. I think it's starting to get to the point of the season where we can start ranking NFL teams to try to see who's going to be in playoffs. We're going to start with 10. I think New England right now is in the top 10 because of that defense. Cam will be back. Can't put him any higher than 10, though, because right now they're rocking with backups. Please rest up, Cam. 9, I got Cleveland. After that dominating performance versus Dallas, Cleveland figured out on offense. Cleveland let up a lot of points, but that's because they were tired at the end of the game. After that, I got the 49ers. They will get Jimmy Garoppolo back. Their running game will start to pick up as the season goes on. They'll start to figure it out as they get less and less injured. But right now, I can't put them any higher than 8. At 7, I got the Tennessee Titans. Don't know what their situation is with Corona, but they're still one of the best teams in the league defensively. They have the best running back in the league in Derrick Henry. Ooh, I apologize. And King Henry will reign. King Henry will reign. Then I got Buffalo just because I have Buffalo beating Tennessee. I didn't know who to put where, but since I have Buffalo beating Tennessee, I'll put them a slot higher. And then I got Tampa Bay at 5, so I guess Tampa Bay tracks my top 5 teams. Baltimore at 4 with the reigning MVP Lamar Jackson. I got Seattle at 3 with the best player in the world. And then Green Bay. I called it last week, Green Bay versus Seattle NFC Championship game. Still sticking to that. And I give the edge to Green Bay just because Green Bay isn't plagued by injuries right now. I mean, they are at the wide receiver position, but they're going to get those guys back at the end of the season. Seattle's really plagued by injuries. Don't know the status of a lot of their injury guys. I'm going to take Green Bay over Seattle if they were to play anytime soon. So right now, I'm going Seattle at 3, Green Bay at 2, and then that leads me to number 1, last year's Super Bowl champs and the reigning Super Bowl MVP, Patrick Mahomes, best team in the league. That defense is amazing. The offense is going to put up a lot of points versus everybody except New England. And yeah. Upcoming UFC, we got UFC Fight Night Maurice versus Sanhagen. I think this is on Fight Island, which is awesome. Love me some Fight Island action. Even if it's not, the Apex is still beautiful. Please tune in. So, main event, Maurice versus Sanhagen. I got Sanhagen round 1. Kind of an upset. Like I said, Maurice has kind of a spotty gas tank. He's real good for the first 3 minutes in a fight, and then after that, he's real not good. So, I'm going to go with Sanhagen round 1 submission. Right before that, we got Barbosa and Amir Khani. Barbosa is at featherweight now after being a staple at 155. Him and Maurice are best friends, so I think they're going to follow each other and both take L's this week. I think I got Makman Amir Khani by unanimous decision. I think Barbosa isn't explosive enough anymore. I think he's gotten old. He doesn't have the same pop that he used to. And I think people know that, and they're kind of just not scared of him. Like, I mean, I want to say like they should be, but not really, because he hasn't shown anything in his last 4 fights to show that he can compete at a high level with these nice 145ers in the stacked division. And, yeah, so I got him losing by unanimous decision again at 145. And then we got Ben Rothwell versus Marcin Tybura. I got Rothwell by KO. They're both on 2-fight win streaks right now, but Rothwell, to me, has looked better in his last 2 performances. Tybura's coming off, I think, 2 split decisions, which is not good if you're trying to make a splash at heavyweight, which is a real big, I like to call it the pony division, because it's your one highlight real knockout away from being in contention, because that's the one that everybody knows. You want to be heavyweight champ of the world. So if you want to do that, you got to finish. Tybura's not a finisher. At least he hasn't been in his last couple fights. I don't think that starts now versus a seasoned veteran in Rothwell. So I got Rothwell by TKO or KO. And there's 2 minutes left in this game. So I'm just going to go ahead and say my thank yous to the Raw DJs, to my mama. I wasn't going to cut it. I was going to watch the end of the game, but I think I'm going to cut it because I'm confident that I can still say Lakers in 5.
Finish him.
I think that LeBron will get it done. The Lakers will win this game. We are cutting, and that's the take. There it goes, everybody. Woo!